Hey guys, welcome back to F1 2021 and welcome back to another video for the My Team Career Mode journey for Cross GT Racing. We've had a few hiccups on the journey for the second half of the season, as you would have seen if you'd seen the last couple episodes, or maybe in the last 3 episodes. We've been having some issues with the performance of the car and also not being able to finish races. So hopefully we can start turning things around. We've only got 3 races left in the season. We really want to put in, some good performances to finish off the season. As we head to the facility now, marketing department needs to take a look at something.
It looks like our driver has an issue. We need you to step in here.
Okay, so there is an in-house shoot to promote some merchandise, but there is an opportunity for Schwartzman. I think we're going to focus on the merchandise rather than the spotlight here.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
No worries. We want to focus on getting cash, even though it wasn't much, but team acclaim as well, because we really want to get to team acclaim level 15 to get another sponsor so we can really boost up the funds even more, because heading into season 2 we're going to need a lot of money so we can get spec 2 upgrades for facilities. We also want to save up a lot of money now so that we can get a really good driver for the beginning of season 2, and maybe even just have them on for the whole season. We'll just have to wait and see. Another quick turnaround here, 3 days again. I think the last 3 rounds it's only been a 3-day turnaround, so really quick turnarounds for these races now. End of the season really starting to wrap up as we spend what resource points we have basically making sure our parts fit the regulation changes for next season. At this point all of our parts are fine as we now look at advancing time.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Awesome. As we now head off to race weekend at Sao Paulo in Brazil. Practice went relatively well here. Like this is probably the first time I've actually driven this track. I have seen the track before, I've seen it driven, I've watched it before, but I've never actually raced it in the game before. So considering that, we actually did really well in practice. We put in some decent times, not great times, but not bad times. We were sitting around where we wanted to sit in terms of the other teams and the other drivers. We got all of our performance boosts, we got all of the resource points, so pretty good practice session there. Our driver acclaim did drop down quite a bit, but that was only because of the rivalry that we lost to Stroll. But that's alright. Team acclaim is still sitting up. We're doing pretty well as we head off to qualifying now. A very it can be a pretty tricky track, this Sao Paulo track. But it was also there's also some pretty high speed sections in it, which may not play into our hands, but I think we've managed to fix a bunch of the issues that we had with the car as we head around turn 5 there into turn 6. We coast around and we were gaining some time through those corners there. We can just hold the speed a little bit more than some of the other cars that we were coming up to in practice runs, which is great for us. But yeah, well, I think we tweaked the front and rear wings a little bit just to see what we could do, and I think we might have found a good little medium there between the two. As we now come around the last corner, the little turn 15 there, across the start finish line. Hamilton claims pole position, but that was a pretty good lap for us. P10, we're only 6/10 of a second off Hamilton, so I think we may have found that magical setup for our car that we needed like 4 or 5 rounds ago. So I'm really happy with that performance. Hopefully we can translate it into the race. Team acclaim almost at level 14. We're so close. We just need to push to get to 15 so we can get a new sponsor. If we can get them this season, that'd be great. Get a little extra cash before the season ends. But we'll just have to wait and see as we now head off to race day.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if, of course, the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Leclerc, Sainz, Ricciardo, the captain and Pierre Gasly, Vettel, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and Tsunoda, Ocon, Stroll, George Russell and Fernando Alonso, Latifi, Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Robert Schwartzman. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So there is the starting lineup for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Since we qualified P10, we have to start on the softs. So it'll be softs to mediums, which I'm happy with. We're going to go with that. What a great performance in that qualifying run. I'm really happy with the way the car was handling there. Let's see what we can do in the race as we're at the starting line. 5 red lights and we're off for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Sao Paulo. So we head up to turn 1. We've got Gasly and Ricciardo on the inside. We managed to get past both of them. A little bit of a collision there with Ricciardo. Turn 1 and 2, we've already jumped up 2 positions. We're now P8. We're managing to maintain pace with Sainz in the Ferrari. For, well, we're not falling too far behind. Oh, we go into the grass there a little bit at turn 4. No, what's that, not 4. That's 6, sorry. Oh, we're going to try and make a move on Sainz around the outside. No, we can't. The corner's just not... It's just too tight for us to do anything there. We're right up behind Sainz. Oh, we're pushing, but we just can't get anything out of it. As we come around 12, we lose a bit of time there. We almost collided with Sainz. We had to ease off. We aren't losing any time to him. We're maintaining pace with Sainz. We're in his slipstream. We're actually slowly gaining on him. Lap 1 complete. We're P8. We're enabling the ERS here. We want to try and keep pace with these guys. We're actually slowly gaining on Sainz in the Ferrari. I think we've done it. I think we've figured out what this car needs in order to be competitive. The gap to Ricciardo now, 1.1 seconds. As we go a little bit wide there, coming out of 7. But it's okay. We're still right behind Sainz. We follow him round. Coming up to the tight turn 10. Around turn 11. Oh, we have to ease off the accelerator a little bit. We go a little bit wide. But we take turn 12 really well. Ricardo now is gaining on us at a rate of knots. Oh, we come across to try and cut him off. Oh, a dangerous move, and then we just have to let him go.
Enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Sainz is now 1.6 seconds ahead of us, so we lost so much time there. Now that everyone's up to speed. But we also didn't have the slipstream, he was too far ahead. We have gained DRS on Ricardo though. It looks like he locked up a little bit there. Or maybe that was just a mark on the road from earlier from someone else. But that's alright as we come round through turn 14 and 15 across the start finish line at the end of lap 3.
Gap to teammate behind is 8.3 seconds.
So we're 8 seconds ahead of our teammate. We're 1 second behind Ricardo. 2.5 seconds behind Sainz. So the other cars are pulling away now. Gasly is now coming up behind us. He has DRS on us. But we have enough time to be able to get to the end of the straight. And he can't get ahead of us. We are losing time to Ricardo now. It may also be tyre wear issues. They may have better tyre wear upgrades than we have as we go a bit wide there at turn 8. Gasly now is right behind us. He's really pushing. He's alongside us pretty much. Oh he is. He comes right up the outside at turn 10, but we have the inside line. We managed to hold him off. He has to give up the position, and he loses a lot of time there as well. Turn 12, we go a little bit wide onto the grass. Ricardo now 2.7 seconds ahead of us, so the cars in front of us, there is a clear advantage for them based on their performance, their car's performance.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form.
As Gasly passes us and Vettel uses the slipstream to get up behind him and get past us as well. We're now P11, but we are battling.
Green flag.
Okay, we have a caution flag here for some reason. Don't know what it was. We're now back to green flag running. Another caution.
Informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed. A new strategy is available on the MFD. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Okay, so Fernando Alonso is out of the session, and so is Yuki Tsunoda. So we've had 2 people retire at the beginning of lap 5. So the safety car was out, full safety car. Lap 7 now, so we've had 2 laps of safety car. So we come around turn 10, and we've gone a little bit of a spin onto the grass. We were in P9.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap.
And
Let's
now
make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
we were in P9 following a safety car. We'd done so well. And then we just whiskey throttled it at turn 10. A slight spin onto the grass. We overcorrected and we ended up spinning completely on the grass. We're now back to green flag running, and we are 5.5 seconds behind Sergio Perez, who's in P19. The only thing helping us at the moment is the fact that they're all backed up together, that the ones in the back having to slow down a lot sooner heading into these corners to go around them, and that's giving us some time to catch up, or at least it was.
Car in front is 4.4 seconds.
4.4 seconds. We get a track limits warning there. We're now only 3.6 seconds behind, 2.4 seconds behind Perez now. We had a faster sector 1,
You're catching the car ahead by a couple of seconds a lap.
but we had a slower sector 2 and sector 3. We're half a second slower than our previous best lap time. Oh, we go through turn 2 and 3 really poorly. 2 seconds the gap now to Sergio Perez in the Red Bull, who's being held up by some of the other cars in front of him. Also a couple of Haas cars in front of him. We get another track limits warning. second lap in a row. One more of those and we'll have ourselves a 3-second time penalty, and we cannot afford any time penalties now.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
Thanks, Jeff. We're back to DRS and that being enabled. We're now 1.6 seconds behind Perez. He is really being held up by some of these slower cars. He's being held up currently by Mick Schumacher in the Haas and Robert Schwartzman, our teammate. So that's not helping him at all, and he's not really being given any room to be able to overtake, so he is stuck at the back in P19. Our teammate is into the pits. A lot of the cars, a lot of the other drivers making pit stops this lap, which means we will have to be entering into the pits soon as well. We may have to come at the end of this lap. We're now back in P10. We're still effectively P20, as Hamilton has just exited the pits. So his pit stop still brings us out just behind me, so we are not in any position.
Some information on Hamilton. They seem to have an issue.
Okay, Hamilton's got an issue. Hamilton, he's right next to me. No, Verstappen was next to me. Hamilton is dropping back at a rate of knots. 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds. He went from being 0.3 seconds behind me to being 4 seconds behind me in about 3 corners. As most of the other drivers in the field have headed into the pits now to change their tyres, we've stayed out again. I don't remember seeing a call for us to go in to the pits, so we might have to box this lap. We're sitting P4 at the moment, or P5 now. Bottas has gone past us. We've got Norris coming right up behind us as well. He's still there. We're actually managing to stay ahead of him. Our tyre wear is like way up as we go very wide at 12. Norris goes past us.
Okay, keep on him. He might make a mistake.
Vettel comes flying past. We've also got Sainz coming up behind us as well. We get DRS, but it's not enough. Sainz goes around us. We couldn't enter the pits. We are going to have to pit this lap. Our tyres, 72% wear on the right front tyre. These softs are way worn out.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
So we're boxing this lap. We should have boxed lap 9, but we had that spin and we couldn't afford to go into the pits then. We had to stay out to try and gain some time on these guys. So we'll just have to wait and see how that affects the rest of our race as we come into the pits now. We're always slowing down more than we need to, a lot earlier than we should, but this getting used to these pit markers is it takes its toll on the race.
Release.
As Hamilton has just come up past us now.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Oh, this pit lane quite tight and windy. Again, first time driving this track, I'm not used to that. We've just come out of the pits now, we crossed the white line, not that it matters. We only get a warning for it.
Looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it.
Great, so we've just come out of the pits, we're 7 seconds behind Hamilton, who's on the softs, and we now have a potential engine issue. That is not what we wanted. This weekend went from going great at the start and now it's becoming a nightmare.
It's not good news, I'm afraid. Seems like an engine issue. Okay, touch wood. Seems like the fault has resolved itself.
Okay, so we dodged the bullet there. Oh, we do a little bit of a slide there at the same corner again at turn 10, just like we did it in lap 9, but this time we managed to save it. But we have lost another 2 seconds, another 3 seconds actually to Hamilton. We are now 10 seconds behind Hamilton as we come around turn 15 and we cross the start-finish line. We have 4 laps left in this Grand Prix and we have to try and gain 10 seconds. which is just not happening. We've actually lost time. We're now 3 seconds behind Hamilton now, or 3 seconds slower now. Hamilton's now gone past Schumacher, but we're just not. We're not competitive now. That spin in lap 9 sealed our fate. We did manage to gain some time here at the end, but it was not enough.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Oh, so another poor performance. We did so well for half the race, and then that spin sealed it for us.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
So there we have it. Sao Paulo Grand Prix over and done with. We finished P20 only because Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso both had to retire due to some sort of issue. Robert Schwartzman, who started in P22, actually finished P17, so he jumped a few places, which is great for us. The big talking point though, Lewis Hamilton, because of an issue he had in the second half of the race, finishes P19. That could shake things up massively at the top of the driver standings. Congratulations to Charles Leclerc as well, bringing home a win for Ferrari. Max Verstappen now only 42 points behind Lewis Hamilton. Bottas now only 20 points behind him. We've got 2 races left. Any of these 3 could win. Hamilton with a nightmare run there, but luckily Bottas couldn't capitalise too much on it. Gained some points on him, but it's still a 20-point gap between the 2 Mercedes drivers. But that does set up quite a tasty finish to the season. Will we see Lewis Hamilton hold on to his lead? Will we see Bottas end up taking some big points off him in the next couple of races? Or will we see Verstappen out of nowhere come through and claim the title for himself? It could be any of the 3 drivers that we have there. As we take a look at the constructor standings, no change to the standings. With 2 races left, I don't see these standings changing too much. Maybe Ferrari and McLaren might have a bit of a tussle there. I don't see anything changing really. The bottom of the ladder, the bottom 4 teams, we haven't really gained any points at the second half of the season. Aston Martin though has claimed quite a few points in the second part of the season. We were ahead of them at one point, by 1 point. But they've managed to clean up now and they've pulled well ahead of us, so they have secured 7th position, I would say, this season. As you take a look now, Team McLaren level 14, we're 1 level away. We probably won't reach 15 by the end of the season, but we are so close. Beginning of season 2, we could have another sponsor coming on very early in the season. As we take a look now, our cash building up, we're just shy of $8 million. We could buy a lot of the drivers in the driver market at this point. We want to get the best driver for our team so that we can get constructors titles, we can get drivers titles. We want to be the best team in Formula 1 in the future. We want to get as much money as we can so that we can get that person, whoever they may be, to take us to the top. So that brings an end to race weekend here in Brazil. The Sao Paulo Grand Prix over and done with. We did well at the start, pretty good performance there, but that spin at lap 9 under safety car is what sealed our fate today. We could have had a pretty good finish today, but it's just not meant to be. Another disappointing finish to a race weekend and another disappointing finish to an episode, but that's okay. We're still looking good for season 2 prep, which is our main focus right now. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like, comment, and let me know what your thoughts are on this, what your thoughts have been so far, and if you've got any thoughts for the future. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. It does really help when you subscribe to smaller channels like mine. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone.